Hello there, it's Simone, and I would like to do a fountain pen collection video. I have never really shown you which pens I actually currently own, and I thought it was about time, and I also want to do a giveaway at the end. This is my fountain pen collection as of October 2022. I keep my pens in 2 gallon leather pen cases. This is the 14 slot pocket pen case that is specifically made for KAWECO sports. And then this is the 20 slot fountain pen case. This is the natural leather and this is the Crazy Horse Brown. The pens that I have currently inked up, I am housing in a rickshaw Nocco Sinclair, or actually it's called Sinclair R. I purchased this at the San Francisco Pen Show and I am absolutely in love with it. So I emptied it all out and put it all together in here, but when I have all the pens that are inked are living in this case. Usually. So I think I'm starting with this case and going through, maybe I'm not sure. I want to go by brand, but I think I'm not going this case first and then this case second. I'm going to mix it up a bit. So this is it. There's 10 slots on each side and my pen case is basically full. This one is not fixed and this one is also doesn't really fit in here. I am going to start with Lamy. This is my small Lamy collection. As you can see, it hasn't grown in a long time. It's the same. These pens, these 2 pens are some of the oldest pens in my collection. These are both the cheapest version. This one is called Lamy Joy. These 3 are called Lamy Safaris. This one I had when I was still in high school in Germany. This one I got while I was at university in Germany. I used to write everything, all the notes that I took at uni and in school. We have to use fountain pens in school, and when I was in school, I'm not sure how it is right now, but right now you still learn to use a fountain pen in school. But when I was in school, you weren't allowed to use a ballpoint pen. So I had to use a fountain pen, and this is the fountain pen that I used to write my Abitur with, and then at uni I had Rotring artist pens in 1.1 and 1.5 stubs, but I don't know what I did with those because they're not around anymore. So I repurchased a stub nib pen on this Lamy Joy. I think it was a 1.5 stub or so, and I used to use this to write the titles or headlines for specific chapters or stuff when I was taking notes. I have nib sizes range from, I have a 1.5 stub, I have a 1.1 stub, and I have medium and fine nibs. I am not, now that I have so many other pens, I like the Lamys. And one of the pens that is on my, I want to purchase this pen because I have written with it, with one of those pens of my friends, and it's fantastic, is the Lamy 2000 with an extra fine nib. That is on my really soon to purchase list. But I am definitely not going to grow this Lamy Safari collection anytime soon. They're okay, but there's other pens in that price range that I like more. Another collection is this TWSBI collection. And you can see that I guess my priority on the beginner fountain pen range is more leaning towards TWSBI. I started, this was my very first TWSBI, a TWSBI Eco in clear with a medium nib, and then I slowly grew my collection. I purchased this Eco T, and I really enjoyed and liked the now I don't have a nib on there. I removed, or when I clean the TWSBIs, I often remove the nib and feed, and then I don't put it back until I ink it up again. I am slowly trying to move away from that because I do see that sometimes the nibs are, it's not as friction fitted anymore. I see some minor cracks. This one definitely has one right here on the cap. I heard the TWSBI customer service is quite okay with replacing broken or cracked items, but still, I do have several TWSBIs and I don't want this to be an ongoing thing. So I'm trying to learn how to clean my TWSBIs thoroughly without removing the nib and feed every time. I have sizes from, I have a broad, this is the Glow. I have mediums. This one is currently, because they are basically, the nibs and feeds are interchangeable, so I can put whichever nib I want to on whatever color. But currently the medium is, there's a medium on here, there's a broad on here. This one doesn't have a nib right now. There's a medium on here, and there's a video coming up on this one, or it's already out. This is a specialty nib, a reverse architect nib ground by Kirk Spear of the Pen Realm. And then I have an extra fine. I do have a fine nib in my stash. And so since this one is permanently inked with platinum carbon black, I am planning on expanding that TWSBI Eco collection to another extra fine nib, as well as a 1.1 stub nib. But then I think I'm good. I don't really want to grow that collection any further than that. TWSBI Ecos. TWSBI has another beginner-friendly fountain pen that is called the TWSBI Swipe. I like the color. I don't care for the clip. Looks really like not usable. It doesn't even add to the aesthetic of this pen. And again, I don't have a nib on this as well. What I like about this in comparison to the Eco is that it is a cartridge converter pen. And so first of all, it's easier to clean. And their cartridge converters, you can actually unscrew them and clean them really easily and thoroughly. Yeah, I like that it has this ink window right here. It uses less ink, so if you're not sure, if you just want to try and play with inks like I usually do, this is definitely better than having such a huge ink capacity, even though you can only ink it up with a tiny bit amount of ink. This is less ink. Also nice. And then I do have two other TWSBI pens. This is the TWSBI VAC 700R Iris. It is a vacuum filler pen. That means that you pull this all the way down, submerge your pen into your ink bottle, not all the way, but until you have this down here, and then you plunge it down. That's why it's called a plunger, Simone. And then by the vacuum that you created, you need to fill this space right here. It sucks in the ink. I don't know. Many people say that they can't get a good fill with their vacuum filler pen. Again, this is not an issue for me, as I don't really want to fill my pens all the way. If I was using just this pen and wrote with it every day, then maybe that would be a thing. But as the way I'm using my pens right now, it is not an issue. This VAC 700R does have a different nib though. This is a number 6 size nib, and this one is a number 5 size nib. So you can see the size difference in the nibs. This one is also a medium nib, and this nib is not as easily removable. So if I can clean a vacuum filler without removing the nib, then I'm definitely for sure will be able to clean a piston filler. And then the last TWSBI pen that I own is a pen that I purchased secondhand, and this one is the TWSBI Mini in, it says RG2. This is the second edition, rose gold. It twists to post. And I really like it. I wanted to have a rose gold pen, and I also wanted to try the TWSBI Mini, so this was perfect for my as to add this. At the time I purchased it from an Instagram friend. If you know her, it's KAWECO S. She lives in Germany, and so she shipped it to my parents, and they were able to bring it with them, so I would be able to save on shipping. I'm going to show you this pen next, and then I'll move to the smaller case over here. This one is a pen that is not technically mine. This is a Pelikan Junior. My middle son used this pen when he learned to write with a fountain pen in elementary school. It has an A nib that stands for beginner or Anfänger, and I don't think they make this specific model anymore, but I really enjoy using it. It is a very wet writer. The nib is basically between a medium and a broad nib. I also really enjoy the way this is for them to understand how to place their fingers. So you would put your pointer finger right here, your thumb here, and then your middle finger in this notch right here. This is how I tend to hold my pen, so I'm not, it doesn't force me to hold my pen anyway, other than I would normally hold it. And yeah, I recently found it in one of the pen boxes that we have lying around, and I thought, let me clean it. It was still inked from before we moved here, which was in 2015. It is 2022. This was inked for over 7 years, and I cleaned it and it still works. So that's awesome. Let me move this to the side and then show you what is in here. There's not much in here right now. I don't usually keep my pens together by brand. I put the pocket pens over in the pocket pen case, so there's technically still room in the big pen case. This is my small collection of KAWECO sports, and even though I purchased that pocket pen case with the idea of maybe I want to fill this up, at the current moment, I'm not 100% sure that is going to happen. I like the pens. I had a really bad experience with the first KAWECO that I purchased in 2017. It was a bit of I had a problem because I did something wrong, and maybe the nib never really wrote very smoothly. But then I also inked it up with a shimmer ink, and it dried up on me, clogged completely. I didn't really get it to write. I tried to clean it out. With the knowledge that I had back then, I didn't know that you could actually remove I think there is no, yeah. So you can actually twist these out, same as with the TWSBI. So I didn't know that you could take out the nib and feed. So maybe if I had known that back then, maybe I would have been able to clean it out completely, but I was never able to get that pen to work well again. And so I gave it away. And hoped that somebody else would enjoy that pen in the future. When KAWECO announced the cyan color, this is one of my favorite colors on the planet. This is it in comparison to the cerulean blue. There are different shades of basically the same color. I love them both. I decided I would just take the plunge again and try KAWECO's again, and I was very pleasantly surprised. Then I was able to the nib wasn't super smooth, but it was smoother and flowed better, was better than I had experienced in the past. Since it's not a super expensive pen, I decided to just try my hand at getting the micromesh sheets from Goulet pens and try my hand at smoothing out the nib myself. And it worked really well. I have since just, and the brass sheets to floss the tines, that helped to get this pen to where I wanted it. And then I purchased this Grail pen. Basically, this is the only KAWECO AL Sport that I own. Golden Espresso. I just fell in love with this color sometime in 2021, maybe May or so. And as I said, I had a bad experience with KAWECO before, so I wasn't really going for it. I just said I'm going to admire it from afar. But when I was able to get this, I had experienced this for a while. In December of 2021, I decided to purchase one, and I found maybe the last two in some online shops, and I got this with a fine nib and then purchased a medium nib separately so I could swap it out. So I have this one, and then I added other colors. This one was gifted to me by a viewer of this channel, Amy. It's a double broad nib, which was a really great experience because I never knew that I would like double broad nibs. Different manufacturers' broads are different. So this broad nib writes almost broader than this double broad. Maybe I can show you on a paper. There is one right here. Oops. I'm glad those both are inked. So this is TWSBI broad. TWSBI broad. And then let me show you what the KAWECO double broad looks like. I should write TWSBI double broad so you can see. I would say that this is broader than this, or very, very close. But it's definitely not broader than this. The ink in here is Ferris wheel press buttered popcorn, and I love this. The shading on this ink in a broad nib is just fantastic. So that one was a gift. I'm not sure if here I'm collecting one of each nib size for the TWSBIs. maybe I'm gonna do that with the KAWECO Sports. I don't know. I am not super excited and happy with this. I thought this color was more orange and bright. It feels like a dusty orange. And yeah, it was my birthday pen for 2021. But yeah, and then I also got the iridescent pearl because, you know, this is just such a cool pearlescent pen. I needed it in my collection. So I will see what other colors KAWECO comes out with. They already released an AL Sport in a, what is that called? It's not Papageno, but that's the name that is in my head. A blue color, and then the really light blue. I did not add any of those to my collection. I told myself that I really have to love the color of the KAWECO Sport in order for me to get it, and that's why I didn't get any of those. So that's the KAWECO journey. I had imagined that maybe I would have a collection of 14 small KAWECOs in various different colors, but that doesn't seem to happen at the moment. So we'll see how that ends up. Luckily, all of my pocket pens fit in here, so this could just be a pocket pen case, because I am still very much drawn to pocket pens. You know what? I'm going to check on my wish list of fountain pens, because I was asked to talk about the ones that I am looking forward to or would like to try. I mentioned already the Lamy 2000 Extra Fine. That is one of the yes for sure lists. Here's my list. The Pilot Custom 823 was on the highest ranking one on my list before I went to the pen show. This was from July 14th, 2022. Since then I added some more. So I will talk about those. But I tested it at the pen show and I did not immediately fall in love with it. So I decided to wait, and I will get it at the next pen show if I still want it and if I fall in love with it then. If not, I'm just going to continue waiting for that moment to happen. And if it never happens, well, then that's also telling me something. Another pen that I actually have on the way right now to me is the Platinum 3776 in a medium size. I was never really sure if I wanted one. At the time that I was able to test them, I didn't see them at the San Francisco Pen Show. I heard later that at least once of the people there, one of the vendors had some, but I just was too scared to ask, or I just couldn't see them, and so I didn't talk to them. The ones that I was able to try were all extra fine, and that was way too scratchy and way too not for me. The Platinum has one of the maybe hardest writing experiences, or that's what people always say. And so I was hesitant because I know that I do really love when the pens are smoothie glass writings, gliding over the paper, almost like butter. And so I wasn't sure if that was a pen for me. I was able to write with a medium nib in September. And then I found, because of the exchange rate being so super low with Japan right now, I found one on Amazon, not from a third-party seller. It says Platinum Shop, so I assume it's them. Don't know. I don't know for sure. I'm not going to ask any questions. That was $86 in total. I used my Amazon money that I already had on there from previous purchases. And so it cost me a total of $26. And so I said, okay, well, for that money, I'll get it. And so that is on the way, but I couldn't include it in my collection because it's not here yet. Another pen that was on my list is this Pilot E95S in the burgundy color. I purchased that at the San Francisco Pen Show. I made a video on my haul there, so if you want to see that, it's going to be linked. I have 4 Pilot pens. These 2 were the first ones that I purchased. This is the Pilot Custom 74 in burgundy. It has a medium nib. This is a 14K gold nib. And then I purchased both from Pensachi. That's why I was able to not get a translucent color. And then I purchased this one, and I didn't read or understand the product description well enough. So I purchased this with a steel nib. I thought it was a gold nib as well. I thought I got a good price. I got a good enough price for the steel nib, but it wasn't a great price. It would have been a really great price if it was a gold nib. At the San Francisco Pen Show, I purchased a gold nib unit because I tested the gold nib at the Pilot table, and it was such a different writing experience that I decided the reason why, or I realized that the reason why I didn't enjoy this pen was because of the nib. So yeah, so I have those all in, basically they're all medium nibs. Should change it up a bit. I was very fixated on medium nibs because they gave me the best writing experience. But I have since started to experiment more and appreciate other nib sizes more. And so I don't want to like focus in and just concentrate on one single nib. I do go with those though when I'm paying a lot more money for the pen, or especially the nib, because I know that that's a safe place for me to be with the nibs. But again, I really like the way the Lamy 2000 in extra fine writes, so that's the nib size that I'm getting there. And then because I'm really intrigued with the SIG italic gradient nibs from FRANKLIN-CHRISTOPH and stub nibs in general, cursive nibs, I want to explore a bit more with all of those different nib grinds. The best place to start is with factory ground nibs that you can purchase that are in stock at Amazon or another retailer. So I got this cursive medium nib from Jet Pens just recently. This is a Pilot Metropolitan. The shape and make never appealed to me, so that is not a pen that I purchased when I started back getting into fountain pens, but I like it more, especially the weight and the feel of this pen, than I had originally anticipated. So maybe sometimes you need to give something a chance before you say no. That's that. When I was talking about the Pelikan, this is another pen that I would really love to have in my collection, or at least try for a longer extended period of time. I would like to try a Pelikan M600, 800, 400, I don't know. I would love to try a gold nib. As you can see, my hands are super big. I think I would not enjoy the writing experience with a 200 or 400, so I'm thinking maybe the 600 or the 800 would be good for my hands. But have you looked at the prices? Oh my God, I will need to save for a very long time until I can afford to even buy one. I wish there was something like a fountain pen lending service where you could say, okay, can I write with this for a month? And then you send it back. Or you say, well, I really love this. How much would it be to purchase this now? Another pen I really would love to try is the Travelers Company brass pen. but I don't have that in my collection just yet. I'm not sure I would actually enjoy the smell of that. Can you hear what that sound makes? But yeah, it's okay. I heard good stories and bad stories about that pen, so it's really far down on my wish list, but it's definitely one that I'm sometimes eyeing. So, Opus 88. This I purchased in July of 2021. This I purchased in July of 2022. This was my very first outside of the beginner fountain pen range experience, and I really like it. This one has a Yovo nib unit. It is branded with Opus 88, but any other, it's a number 5 nib. Any other number 5 nib unit that you have on your other fountain pens, you can exchange that with this pen and use it interchangeably. It is not a vacuum filler, it's a eyedropper pen. So you can unscrew the section, and then it has this tight seal right here. And you can actually close this all the way. There is an eyedropper included in your, when you purchase the pen, so you can eyedropper the ink into the barrel right here. You can open this up all the way, that the ink compartment is all free. Oh wow, this is really dark. Maybe I need to clean this one more time. Can you see that dark circle right here? And then in order for you to write, this will seal, if you shut it all the way, this will seal the ink in the ink compartment right here. There is it goes all the way into the section, and then it will seal the ink off in this ink compartment, and then no ink will go from here all the way to here. So if you want this to write, when you don't unscrew it, the only ink that gets to the tip of the nib is the ink that is in here, in your feed and in your nib. If you want this to actually write smoothly and not stop writing, you will have to unscrew the piston knob right here. So that is the Coloro in red. And then this is the Opus 88 Mini. And this has the exact same filling mechanism. However, it is very small. And if you can see right here, it barely goes all the way back here. So the writing experience is not the best. It's quite clunky. I thought I would enjoy it more than I do, to be honest. The cap does not post securely. And this is it. I got both of those at Endless Pens at their Independence Day sale. So they were priced fairly okay. I'm not 100% regretting this purchase. I want to give this another chance when I do my next currently inked ink rotation, just to see, maybe my opinion has changed. Who knows? Let's move on to the next brand, the last one that I own. These are the last two pens that I'm talking about. These are FRANKLIN-CHRISTOPH pens. This is the first one that I purchased, and it was a really bad purchasing experience. Not because they did anything wrong, but because I just didn't really know what I was getting. I probably should have just gotten a regular size nib with this pen, not a special nib grind, because I had never tried those before. But I was very intrigued by their SIG Italic gradient nib, so I purchased it, and then I put an ink in there that probably wasn't suited for this pen either. It never wrote, always hard starts. It felt like I was fighting with this pen and ink forever. It was really dry and very scratchy. And so overall, my experience was very not so good. but the pen and the company do not take any fault in this. This was just me purchasing something that I was not ready for yet. If you have the chance to go to a pen show where Franklin-CHRISTOPH is going as well, they bring all their specialty nib grinds with them, and you can write with them and test them before you decide, because when you buy the pen, you choose the pen and then you choose the nib. And so if I had known that that was going to, if I had like researched a bit more, I probably would have gotten just a regular medium nib and then maybe purchased the nibs after I had tested them at the pen show. I took this with me to the San Francisco Pen Show, and their nibsmith smoothed out the nib a bit for me, and also she changed the feed, which I personally think did the trick. This pen is now a very wet writer. It writes really smoothly and I don't have any complaints. It's a favorite pen for sure. It makes my handwriting look really nice. I really love it. And then this is the pen that I purchased at the San Francisco Pen Show. It is a Model 2. And this is by far right now my favorite pen. I am not 100% sure that I like the nib, but I will get to that in a second. This is the only other number 6 nib on a pen that I own. So one thing that is very intriguing about the Pilot Custom 823 would be that that nib is also a number 6 nib. It's definitely bigger than the nibs that are on these pens for sure. Yeah, so this currently has an SIG extra fine nib that I took from a recent pen meetup. My friend Amy did not like it at all, but I, for some reason, really liked writing with it. It's very, you have to hold your pen very precisely. Well, that's not a TWSBI. We know that this is a Franklin-CHRISTOPH. And I cannot write as big as I usually do. But for some reason, I do love it. However, now I can't use the medium. So I feel like I need a barrel where I can fit another number 6 nib into. And this is the SIG extra fine. And for sure, when I don't hold my pen at the exact writing angle, then it scratches. And SIG stands for stub, italic, gradient. So yeah, these are all my pens. On my list, I already told you I have 2 more TWSBIs. KAWECO Sports, maybe, maybe not. That's not something that is necessarily on my wish list. I have to have them. I do really love the look of the Schon design Ultem pens. So that's one of the pens on my list. And then I have also recently taken a liking at the Esterbrook, the Estie. They do have some specialty nib grinds as well, and one of their nib or pens nibs is the journaler nib, and I would really love to try that pen as well as the nib. But again, I will need to wait until I have the funds for those. That's my whole collection. This video is very long. However, I really love talking about fountain pens. Don't you remember? Here's the giveaway. I had previously reached out to YouTube when I said that I would love to swap my fine nibs on my TWSBIs with medium TWSBIs. And then I came to my senses and realized maybe having different nib sizes isn't a bad thing. But one of my friends had already gifted me this TWSBI Eco. It's in the lilac color. You know that I already have this pen in my collection, and I don't see a reason why I should have two. There's currently a fine nib installed, but I would give you the choice if you wanted this with a medium nib or a fine nib. I have more spare medium nibs, so I could swap this out for you again. And yeah, that's the giveaway. I would like to send this pen to pass on the kindness that was given to me on to one of you guys on here. I would like to know. I don't know, actually. I will have to count. So how many pens did I talk about today? And if any of those pens on my wish list or that I have in my possession that you don't own, which pen would you like to try? That's the question. Yep, I think that's it. Don't tell me the number of the pens that I own. I can count those myself, but if you count it, let me know. What is one pen that you currently don't own that you would love to try? Maybe in one of those fun pen rental companies. I will send this out to you and include some ink samples. You will have 1 week from today to leave a comment in the comment section below. This giveaway is unfortunately only for US only, because first of all, not all countries allow the reception of liquids sent by private people in the mail, and also shipping is just so expensive for overseas shipping. Yeah, so I will announce the winner in the comment section below. I will also put it in the description, and you then will have 24 hours to respond. If you don't, I will just pick another winner so that this will be claimed fairly quickly and I can get this out to you as soon as possible. Happy writing. If you're still here, then you are the reason why I'm making those videos. I really love talking about fountain pens and inks, ink explorations, and I appreciate every single one of you. If you would like to support the channel, share it with your friends. Leave a comment below if you want to give more. Please feel free to hop over on Ko-fi, where I actually have some stickers to sell, but you can also just simply donate. Both is very appreciated. Happy writing, happy journaling. I will see you soon. Until then, bye.